Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes. We're going to be doing the Taroscope for the sign of Libra. That's Libra sun, moon, or rising for the month of April 2024. Now, a brief announcement before I get started. Generally, in the last few months, I've been doing some specific astrology for each sign, followed by the tarot part of the taroscope, doing the reading. I have gotten quite busy thanks to some positive exposure on Jen Lynn and Susan Lynn's channels. And so I have been very busy doing meeting new people, doing readings on folks, and it has sort of whittled away my time that I would normally spend preparing for the taroscopes. So you will get the tarot reading right now. As far as the astrology, I'm going to be doing a astrology for the month, and that is going to cover the signs. Perhaps not as completely as I was able to do before. Otherwise, we would be looking at, like a 6-hour video, which nobody wants to sit for. So I will get the astrology out. It will come out as the astrology of the month, and I'll talk about just generally the trends and the like for the month. And I also have the astrology and Kabbalah of the month, and I usually go through some specific stuff every week. I think I will be able to do that, continue to do that. It's just that the taroscopes are going to change a little bit. So apologies for that. If that is something you were looking forward to, believe me, I will cover the astrology. There's no problem with that. Okay, so let's get started. We're looking at the sign of Libra, and I'm going to be using one of my favorite new decks, the Hermetic deck, the Hermetic Tarot, which is actually a black and white tarot, which really does sort of vibe with the Libra energy. On the Tree of Life, the energy of Libra is found on the path that connects Mars with the sun, Gabura with Tippereth, and it is the faithful intelligence. It is the balance, right, of the black and the white, and the two sides of something. So I like to use this deck for that, for Libra. So just a few shuffles, get it nice and clean for the Libras. So, of course, I will talk a little astrology because I can't help myself. We are actually, as I'm doing this in March, as I normally do the month ahead in the previous month, and we actually just had an eclipse, a lunar eclipse in your sign, Libra. And so, as we approach this new month, perhaps there have been some relationships that you have let go of, or ways of relating that you have let go of that no longer serve your understanding of yourself and your need to be yourself and your need to find relationships that are healthy. All right, let's see what's going on here. We start with the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles. All right, let's see if you can focus in on this card. Sorry about the camera work here. Okay, this is called, oops, sorry. You know what? I'll just read it to you. It'll be easier. The Prince of the Chariot of Earth, the King of Pentacles. So this is somebody who understands what it takes to manifest. You might be in a position where you are the head of something, or there's some significant person in your life who has that energy, right? Somebody who's in charge, generally large and in charge, knows what it takes, knows the work that it takes and the responsibility that you need to have in order to build firm foundations on planet Earth. Let's see the challenge to that. We have the Wheel of Fortune. And so if this is you, the change in fortune, the change that's occurring in the world can be somewhat disturbing, or you feel like you're sort of off your game, perhaps. Let's see what's underneath it. This is a test in a way. We have the Hanged Man sitting underneath us. This is any disruption in your financial situation is an opportunity for you to look at the issue or the problem from a different perspective. That's what the Hanged Man says. The Hanged Man says there are things outside of your control, hence perhaps the Wheel of Fortune, the changes in fortune around you. Um, but that you have a connection to source, and it is that connection that needs to be made at this time. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that, if you're in a good financial position, that something has to happen in order to sort of knock you off your feet so that you do look at this. But, sometimes when you're comfortable, you don't need to look in the way that the hangman requires us to look. And so sometimes we have these changes of fortunes evening out, as it were, that the Wheel of Fortune does um, to to in a way force us to focus and to look at the issue from a different perspective. So you're being asked to look at something from a different perspective. In the past, we have the Queen of Wands, so we have the King and the Queen here, right? And so this is indicates somebody, perhaps yourself or somebody else who was large and in charge, somebody who um, knew what they wanted. The one thing about the Queen of Flames or the Queen of Wands is that she knows what's important to her. She sustains it. She fosters, she nurtures it. She nurtures her creativity. Um, and so that sits in the past. So that could either be a person or that can be you. Okay, in the sky, we have the Lord of Material Success. This is the Six of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles. Maybe if I do this, you know what, let me do this. There we go. All right, I figured it out, guys. And the six is always about a balancing of the scales. So there is some balancing that is happening, or options or opportunities to find a financial balance. And also, I don't know why I'm saying this, but if you happen to be somebody who does have uh, a good source of income or good resources, perhaps the universe is saying, let share some of those resources in places that could benefit from it. So if and a lot of times when you have a lot, you need those places, too much is too much, and it actually works against you in some places. So if you can invest it in things, but the things that you're investing it in, Spirit is saying, do it to even things out, even things out. Maybe help people who need a little step up. Not that you necessarily are supporting somebody else, but you could be supporting a cause that helps people to uh, be balanced in their own finances. So it's that old adage: you feed a person for a day, give him a fish; feed him for his life, teach him how to fish. So there's that sort of energy with this card. Let's see what's in the immediate future. The Seven of Pentacles, there's something that you have to do to around your finances that you need to prune. You need to prune something. If you're not in the position that you feel you've worked hard enough to be in, it may be that there are certain things that you haven't paid attention to, or you still need to tend to the project. It's not quite ready to be harvested, whatever it is, whether it be money or even a creative project, because pentacles are often connected with money and resources, but it doesn't have to be money. It can be a creative project, something that you've actually made with your own two hands. It's just not quite ready to come out. And there's an editing process that needs to happen and a reevaluation, perhaps, of how you want to put something out. How people see you, we have the Princess of Pentacles. entrepreneurial, but learning how to work the wheels, as it were, learning how to work the wheels of success or the wheels of manifestation. They see you kind of as a student, but you could be a teacher's pet, which is not a bad thing. In your domestic situation, we get the Two of Swords. This is a place of the Two of Swords can be a lot of things. It can be a balance. We can see, you see the Libra energy right up there. You are a Libra, right? The Two of Swords is a Libra card in the system that I use. And it's actually the first decan of Libra. So if you happen to be at the beginning of Libra, this card is your card, first 10 degrees of Libra. But there is this sense of coming to some sort of truth, some sort of agreement, where you're no longer fighting. You're the swords have crossed, and you're trying to find a healthy balance here in your domestic situation. Your hopes and fears. There are some things that you wish would be revealed. Or at least things you wish you knew. Things you wish you knew. Whether or not you would use that energy or use that information for any other purpose but to know is a different story. But definitely, I think, or either that, or you think you're afraid that there's something that's not being shown. There's something that's being held back from you that you want to know. And we have as the outcome the Five of Pentacles. This is not generally a good money card. The Lord of Material Trouble. Five of Pentacles. This sort of works with that initial situation about the King of Pentacles with the cross by the Wheel of Fortune. It does look like there's some kind of financial upheaval, financial loss here. Let's continue. Let's see what else we get here. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So I almost feel as though there's a loss, and then in the process of the loss, something that was not seen or looked at or known, you learn from that mistake. You learn from that mistake, and you learn how to sustain. And then we have the Chariot. So there's movement forward with the Queen of Thrones. So the Queen of Pentacles. So I would say here, for the most part, any losses you can sort of tick off to learning. But once the mistake has been made, you won't make it again. You won't make it again. And there's opportunity for stability and for moving on pretty quickly from this. Underneath, we have the Princess of Swords, which can indicate that perhaps there was something you were not aware of, a sort of a spy in the camp kind of energy. We have the Five of Swords, which can be abuse of power. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles. Again, I feel like you're in a situation where, from all outside view, it should have been the perfect thing to do. If you read all if you read it all, you looked at all the contracts, you did all that, there was everything on your end was fair. It's the other person that wasn't fair, and the other person that was perhaps abusing their power. But ultimately, you do not go without. This is just a lesson. This is a lesson that perhaps you need to trust your instincts on this, no matter what somebody's credentials are. You need to trust your instincts, that perhaps if there's that little like thing in the back of your mind that's saying, I don't know. And it's interesting that this came up as we enter this month, and we just had an eclipse in your sign, South Node eclipse. So this could have been some sort of marriage thing. Maybe you thought your spouse had more money, or he came across as having more, or she having more money, being all in charge, and then you find out that in fact that wasn't the case, and that those instincts that you were having were correct. I will say this again. No, the loss is simply a lesson. You will not do it again. You will not do it again. And there is help for you. There's aid for you, and perhaps really finding somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to money. That's what I see, Libra. All right. I'm not sure I could say I hope you enjoyed that reading, because it was a little bit difficult, right? Um, but fair is fair, and lessons are lessons, and we learn from them. The only time it's a problem is if we don't learn. So you need to learn the lesson of perhaps not always trusting the person who seems to have the most, but perhaps um, you don't know until you know. That's what I want to say. So don't beat yourself up if you have that tendency. Don't do that. That's not going to help. Just learn from the mistake, and I think you're going to be okay. Okay. All right. Well, there's your reading, Libra. Um, I want to thank all my new subscribers. Um, if you're brandy new and you're a Libra, Libra's not always it's challenging of a reading, just so you know. Um, but welcome, and thank you to all my tried and trues who've been with me for years and years. And it's a long, strange trip that we've been on. If you're interested in having a reading with me, there are links below where you can go on my website. I do hour and hour and a half readings. If it's your first one and you can see yourself through to doing the hour and a half, I would suggest that. Gives a nice basis for future readings if you want to do that. But it's a real, the system is very, I think, accurate, and gives us a lot of tools that we can work with. So I think that's more important than that, I think, is if you can come back from this kind of experience with some tools in your toolbox to help you to navigate the energy that you've stepped into in this lifetime. Sometimes you're like, what was I thinking? But there's nothing that you face that you're not ready to face. So know that. And what else? What else? What else? I am going to be doing an introduction to the Kabbalah, another series. It's a two class series, two groups of classes. Each class is 6 weeks long, and we run them on consecutive, whatever day we choose to do it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, although it won't be Tuesday. So I will put that up on the events page on my website when I figure out the schedule for that, which I should be doing in the next week or so. So if you're interested in that, you can get you can purchase that, and you will be in the group. And yeah, that's what I want to say. Okay, have yourself a great month, and everything's going to be all right. Take care. Namaste.